Hello, I'm Danny the Guide, and are you ready for today's snippet of history? So today is St. George's Day, and I just thought it would be a good time to explain who St. George is and why he is the patron saint of England. So who is George? Well, not much is known about George or his activities slaying a dragon, although that first appears in a text that's probably from the 11th century in Georgia, the country that is named after him. But George is supposed to believed to be a Roman soldier of Greek origin who was persecuted and executed for his Christian faith in the pre-Constantine persecutions. See, Constantine was the emperor of Rome who in 313 decreed that the state religion now be Christianity, and many people were executed prior to this decree, George being one of them. Now, how a dragon gets all mixed up into the legend of George is, well, a Georgian text from the 11th century, and legend and myth evolves. He was supposed to be appeasing the village of Selene, which is in Libya, where the village was being attacked by a dragon, and they were giving him two sheep, to sacrifice so that the dragon would leave them alone. But when the sheep ran out, what would they do? Well, to save the day was George, and he slew the dragon. And so now you have one of the fiercest military saints in history. How did St. George come to be England's patron saint? Well, as a military saint, he would have been first evoked in the 12th century, while all the soldiers were off on crusades. But he cements himself in the fabric of English history when King Edward III, in 1348, founded the Order of the Garter, one of England's highest orders of chivalry dedicated to 24 knights. And it was founded in the name of St. George. Now, St. George's Chapel in Windsor Castle is the spiritual home of the Order of the Garter. But it was further cemented into history by King Henry V. Now, King Henry V evoked St. George as a military aid at the Battle of Agincourt in 1415, and William Shakespeare, the Stratford-upon-Avon-born playwright, who born this day in 1564, evoked the spirit of St. George in his play King Henry V, with a battle speech with the famous lines at the end that say, "Cry God for Harry, England and St. George." And so today we celebrate the Feast of St. George on his patron saint day, April 23rd. Did you know that England had a different patron saint before St. George came onto the scene? For over 300 years, their patron saint was a gentleman, an Englishman, called Edmund the Martyr. Edmund was the king of an Anglo-Saxon region called East Anglia, a kingdom, and he helped fight off the Viking and Norseman invaders with King Alfred of Wessex, who goes on to become Alfred the Great. But in about 870, Edmund gets captured by the Vikings and Norsemen and is forced to recant against his Christian faith, which he does not, and in turn he is tied to a tree and used as target practice, therefore becoming Edmund the Martyr. And he still does have a patron saint day, which is November 20th. So there you have it, a snippet of history. I do hope you've enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to share, like and subscribe to the channel. My name is Danny the Guide, and if you do subscribe to the channel, you'll find more videos just like this one.